There was no shortage of allegations. Illegal kickbacks, overstaffing, insidious accounting, and lax administration were only a few of them. But Chester Arthur had never before been the target of an investigation and had maintained a benign reputation. At worst, he was seen as a party hack, but no one had seriously challenged his probity until now. Much like Conkling, Arthur was seen as part of a corrupt system rather than corrupt himself. He had taken advantage of moiety kickbacks, true, but he had stayed within the system. Oddly enough, that had made him acceptable to the reformers, and it was one reason why he had been reappointed to an unprecedented second term as collector in 1875. Because he was marked, and rightly so, as a man who would bend with the prevailing winds, he was not a primary target of reformist zeal. In fact, he was often lauded by the New York press as a likable individual who did his best to remain honorable in a dishonorable profession. The New York Times, admittedly partisan to the stalwarts, complimented Arthur as a model of efficiency who had the added advantage of being kind and respectful to his subordinates. His good reputation notwithstanding, the charges raised by the Jay Commission were severe. As one advocate of reform in 1877 commented, "If we turn to Collector Arthur, we find some improvement on the old order of things, but much which is a continuation of it. We read the old story of political assessments, that one man last year paid sums amounting to $100, $200, $300, that under the present system the officers who are appointed through political influence are expected to make their offices contribute to the support of the party. We read of clerks receiving $300 or $400 beside their salaries, of weighers who are never seen on the docks, while their assistants come late, leave early, and read the papers, of men who are deficient in a proper attention to business as well as in business qualifications and character." Yet Arthur himself was not directly implicated. Instead, he was charged with looking the other way. He was also criticized for tardiness, on the grounds that he often didn't arrive at work until noon. On that score, he was guilty. The Jay Commission submitted a fairly damning report, and Secretary Sherman instructed Arthur to reduce the number of employees and to institute more rigorous hiring qualifications and administrative practices. Too many people, the Jay Commission reported, were hired solely on the recommendations of their friends. The defenders of the spoils system found that charge absurd, not because it was false, but because that was the whole point. Appointees were supposed to be friends of the faction in power. That was what made them appointable and what guaranteed that they would contribute to the party's coffers. Granted, assessments were supposed to be paid out of salaries, yet the Jay Commission found that they were instead being charged against the operating budget of the government. That wasn't right. But in the eyes of the stalwarts, neither was the president's reaction. Hayes issued an order forbidding federal employees from providing assessments in subsequent elections.